Hi there, it's Karen here, back with you again, back from my little break away last week. We were just away from Monday to Friday, but it was a nice little break, and so I haven't been in my craft room for about 10 days, so it's kind of a little bit strange just to be back here, and I was faffing about for about an hour before I got started, as I often do anyway. I'm always faffing about before I turn the camera on, just to get myself ready to start. So today I thought I would start, I would actually finish off this little folio. I know I said in my last video that I would do at least one more video on the boho journal, which I'm really looking forward to get going on. But in the meantime, I thought, well, actually, I really just want to put this one to bed, get it finished and put all the stuff away, and I'll have a bit more room, because I can already see, just looking around me, that the boho journal stuff is beginning to take over with all the things I want to do. So I want to give myself, enough space to really do lots of things with that. So I want to get this one finished and off my desk, really. That's the main thing. And also, I don't want to leave it and then, when we come back to it, you'll have forgotten what I did, and it's already, for me, been a couple of weeks before I worked on this. So I think I would just like to get this finished. So let's go. I'm only going to, I'm going to do a bit of decorating. I'm going to do the closure. Hopefully this isn't going to be a long video. I'm sorry, the last video went on and on. It was rather long. I wanted to get those, all these cards and all these pieces of ephemera finished so that I could just, finish it off in this last video. I actually had 2 hours of footage, which I had to somehow edit down. I think it got down to about 1 hour and 11 or something. So it took a bit of doing, and I thought, well, I really don't want to do that again. So this one, I hope, will be a shorter video. But knowing me, it'll go on longer than I intend. So I think the first thing I really want to do, I've got all these bits of ephemera, and I didn't actually put them back in the folio before I finished the video. I just ran out of time. So I haven't done that. I hope I can remember where they all go, and I think that's what we should do first of all, is just to put them in to see how fat the whole thing is going to be. And then I just want to add a few little decorative bits. I can't overdo it, because otherwise it just won't close. And I have already done a little bit as I've gone along anyway, so I've got a little bit here and a few little decorative bits, and I just wanted to do a few more. So let's just finish putting these things in the envelopes. So I already had this one here, which I can't get hold of very easily, so I'll just remind you of what that one looks like. I have to use my tweezers to get hold of it. But this one pops out like that, and that's just a nice little journal card. So the actual decoration will be on the pockets, not on any of the journal cards. They've got enough decoration on them, and they'll just be more difficult to get in and out of the pockets if I do. And then on this one, yes, so we've got to put the card that goes into this envelope here. There's the opening at the top, which is always a bit of a faff to get into, but that one. And then I've already got the journal card. You'd already seen that one in here, because that was already made. Let's get rid of that. And I've got another, I think I had this, in fact I think it was this one, wasn't it? This little tag, I believe, goes in here. There we are. So that's gone in there. Not that one. I think it was, no it wasn't. I was trying to remember what goes in where. I think it's this one goes in here, because it's all part of the Beach Huts theme. I think I did this one in that theme, so I think this one goes in here, I hope, like that, and then that closes like that. So it goes there, and that goes there, and it's popping up a bit. By the time it's all been folded and held, it'll be fine. And then, so this one is all finished, isn't it? Yeah, this one was finished. So it's just a case of the last ones going in that bit with, I'll show you that in a minute. So this one is this envelope. So I think, I'm trying to remember now, which one goes in here. I think it's this one goes in here. Like that. So just so that the lace topper just pops out the top there like that. And then we have one to go in here, which I think is this one. So that was this one, just done with a little piece of fabric here, nice little frayed fabric with the little piece of ephemera on the top there, and that just pops in here, and that just pokes out enough so you can get hold of it. And then in this one I had the big tag, which I put right at the back. And I'm not going to do any more. I may do some more decoration on that. I might do a little something, just a case of whether there's a bit of room, so I don't want to make it too bulky. And then there was this one, which I think I didn't have a chance to do on screen. So I did this little tuck journal spot here with this little journal card made from the sticky notes. I tucked in there, so I did that. And then this one was just the final piece, which I used one of the backing cards, and I just covered the areas that had writing on with some of the papers. Added the word seaweed, and there's one of the bigger ephemera pieces behind another piece of frayed fabric, which I think looks quite nice there. And this is one of the stamps from one of the kits. I can't remember which kit that was in. See, it's got that little stampy edge. It's just a sticker, but I just popped that in behind there as well. So that completes this little part of the folio. Just got to get it in without catching the fabric. It's always the tricky part, isn't it? When you put the fabric on. There we are, it's just getting it in there. So that goes like that. So whether I put a little something up here, I'm not sure if it really needs it. I could put maybe a little word up the top there. I've got a few words left from the Beach Huts kit. See if there's one I can just pop there just to give it a little something. Might put got a label. No, that's a bit too big, isn't it? Small beach hut. Could go there, maybe. See what we've got. Got some flowers. Don't think I want any more bunting. That can go out of the way. Get back in that bag. Nice little flower there, maybe that would go on. Was this I can't remember, was that the label I tried, or was it the big one? Yeah, it was still too big, wasn't it? So there's that one, and the other beach huts I've got. Oh, I've got a red one. It's bigger though. I think would that be too big? It's a case of what shows at the top there. Maybe. Let's see what words I've got. I've got treasured moments, that's quite nice. Let's just get this out and have a quick look. This is, Dizzy's last little finishing touches is what today is all about. Oh, and I had some beach huts at the bottom anyway, so that'd be quite nice just to have another one up the top here, perhaps. Perhaps one there. Treasured moments going across. Is that too big? It is a little bit big, isn't it? I also had inspire. May not be quite as good a word to use, but it possibly fits a bit better in the space. I think I'll just chop that down a little bit more. Maybe put that there. Perhaps I'll go have this going off the edge a little bit. About that. think perhaps I'll just do that, just to give it a little bit more interest at the top. I want to ink these as well. Didn't think I was going to do any inking, so I put my ink pad slightly out of my way, but I can get it. I bought myself a re-inker. I haven't got it. I have got it, but I haven't put it on yet because I keep forgetting to put the lid on. You know, I've left it overnight at least 3 times. It does still seem to work, but I thought one of these days it just won't have any ink left in it because I just keep forgetting to put the lid on. I'll go downstairs and do whatever I do, and the next day I come in and they're sitting there with no lid on it, which is very stupid. In fact, I'm surprised it's still going because I've had this a long time. Surprised I've still got any ink in it really, but it does seem to be still working. Right, let's put this one on. I think I'm going to use my art glitter glue, hoping it's going to work after all this time. Oh, goodness, it's coming out. Unexpected. So we had a really, really nice week away. We went down to Wells in Somerset. It's a lovely little cathedral city, very small. I think it's the smallest city in the country or something. It's very pretty, but small enough to find your way around quite easily. And we had a little Airbnb. It was like a little cottage really, but it was all one vertical rather than square, if you see what I mean. It had the kitchen and dining area downstairs, and then upstairs was the lounge, and then on top of that was the bedroom. So it was very narrow and quite tall, but it was very cute. It was a nice place to spend a few days. And we had some reasonable weather. We did have rain, but it wasn't. Mostly it came later in the day, so we were able to do things in the mornings, and then maybe not so much in the evenings. But it wasn't too bad really. It was actually better than we expected weather-wise. And then while we were there, we had our anniversary. We often, well, nearly always try and go away around our anniversary, just because it just is quite nice just to go somewhere different, do something a bit special on the day. And we actually went to see some live music on that day. Richard had just found that this little concert was going on in the city. You know, city. I mean, you call it a city, it makes it sound enormous, but it's really very small. It's very, very small. You know, somewhere we could just walk to, not somewhere. Well, I don't know if I showed you this. I don't know if I showed you that I'd done that. I don't know whether I did that off camera. I have a feeling I did. I added some stamping off camera on the back of this. But yeah, I did. I thought, look, made it, just cheered it up a bit. Yeah, so we went and saw this live concert. It was just in a small hall. I think it was in a school, part of a school, but a very, quite a nice school. So it had a nice big, nice hall. And it was amazing. I hadn't really had any expectations of this concert at all. It was folk music. They were called the Gig Spanner Big Band, which I'm sure you've never heard of. I'd never heard of. But the guy who the lead, it wasn't really the lead singer, but it was his band. Had been part of Steel Eye Span, which some of you may remember from the years ago. I think from the 70s probably, 80s Steel Eye Span. Rock folk, I think, is what they are called. That's what the music they do. And these guys were amazing. The music, there were 6 of them. And they all played different instruments, and they all played multiple instruments, and they swapped between them, and the music was great. I really enjoyed it. It was a great evening. Much exceeded my expectations. We even went and bought the CD afterwards because we'd enjoyed it so much. So yeah, it was the first time I've seen live music in absolute years, really, years and years. And it was a revelation. I just hadn't expected to enjoy it nearly so much as I did. So yeah, it was a really good evening. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it made it a memorable day in the end. We'd had a good day anyway, and it was been the nicest day of the week, fortunately, for weather. And that just finished it off beautifully. Right, so I think I'm happy with the way that's turned out. I know you can't see the little flower, but when you take the you know, take that out, it looks quite pretty then. I think it just, now I've taken it out, I've got to try and get back in again, haven't I? There we go. Yes, I think that finishes that off. Now, I was going to show you this. This is the, I did show you this, that I made this envelope off camera, just to tuck in this pocket here with the journal card. I wanted to put something in an envelope. And in between, you know, while off camera, I've just added a few little goodies in there. So this is a scanned postcard. I have got a load of old postcards. I'm going to found some more, so I'm going to probably show them to you. I've got a little haul video that I'm going to do, and I might show you some of these postcards that I found. They were my mum's old postcards, and some of them are family postcards. They're amazing, and they're all from the early 1900s. So, but this, and I did scan some a while ago, and this is one because it's set on the beach, so I thought it was appropriate. And then there was this journal card which was already made, so I put that in. And then I found, did find some more yesterday over the weekend. I was clearing out some more of my mum's stuff, and I found more postcards. So this is actually a genuine, this is not the scanned one, this is the actual postcard. It's written on the back, and the postmark is 1906, Southend-on-Sea. And this is actually Southend-on-Sea, the pier. Now, I grew up in Essex, and Southend was where we went every summer. As kids, that was our playground. That's where we went. Well, not playground, but that's where if we went out for the day, we went to Southend on the the beach. There was a playground there, and we've taken our kids there, and it's my sister still lives near here. This is kind of home to me. So obviously there's a lot of family connection to this area. So this old postcard of Southend-on-Sea is really, brings back some memories. I mean, obviously not from 1906. I haven't been around quite that long, but it is somewhere that I knew well and still visit periodically. So that's that postcard, and then I just had one of these. One of the papers actually, it's this one here. Look, which I backed with some coloured, some dyed papers, some food dyed papers. So that's going to gone in there as well. So I'm just going to pop those in the envelope, like that. I just thought it was a nice few little bits and pieces, and this scanned postcard has got some coffee dyed paper on the back, so you can write on it. So there's plenty of writing space on there. And I've been thinking about what to do for a closure, and whether to put a piece of ephemera to tuck it into, but because I decided when I made it to use this edger punch, and I've made that fancy edge, I thought, well, that wouldn't really work because it would screw it all up. So I'm just going to put some Velcro on here just to hold it down. And I've got it here somewhere. Yeah, I've got a pack of Velcro circles. So I think I will pop one of these on. Hoping that's quite sticky, so I'm hoping it'll stay stuck. And I want to use do it behind this one, which is the middle pearl. So I'm just going to pop it there, and then this one, I probably should have done it the other way around, but I've put that one on there, and then I can stick it down. Oops, I've got a little half one here. I think when I was doing another project, sometimes I just cut them in half. If there's not really enough space for a whole one, I cut them in half. Let's see if I can separate it now. There we are. There we go. Just, quite near the edge there. I might actually, I'm hoping that's not going to, I don't think that's going to stick. I might just trim that little piece off actually, if I can. See if I can just trim off that little bit that's sticking out. I made quite a deep thumb hole there, didn't I? Well, I haven't done the best job, but I trimmed it a little. But anyway, that's like that. So that will now pop in behind this journal card here. It's quite tight, but it just goes in. There we go, like that. Seem to be sending things on the floor over here, so it's because I've got it all flapped out, and as I'm moving one, it's sending stuff off the side onto the floor. Never mind. Let's fold that in a little bit. Okay, so that bit is done. Now I don't think this needs any extra decoration because I've got this piece of fabric. Whoop. What about something to go on here? I wouldn't mind a little something, I don't know. I've got some little lacy scraps here. A bit of fabric maybe. Another little piece of lace there, and maybe some more ephemera. I might just be able to put another piece of lace there. See what I can do with that. About this little bit of fabric. Needs a little something, doesn't it? So, kind of in place of a button, one of these little ephemera pieces. It's sort of like a shell, and it ties in and makes a little, I don't know, triangle? I don't know. I'm not very good at these ideas of, you know, triangular, taking your eye round and things. But I quite like that, so I'm going to put it on there. I'm going to try not to overthink, you know, where things should go and stuff. I just want to add some little decorative pretty pieces, just to cheer it up a bit. Some places it looks a little plain, and I do like a little bit of lace and fabric here and there. Whoops, I'll put that somewhere where it's not going to drip on anything special. So I'm just going to pop that little bit of lace there. Okay, have I got that the right way around? Sudden thought if I put it on the wrong way. Don't think I have. No, it's fine. It's right. Sudden paranoia. And I just like this little piece of fabric. I'm just going to put that along the join there. It's a little piece of frayed fabric. I like that. There's a slightly nautical look about it in my fanciful brain. And then just one of these little pieces here. Okay. Now, at the top, so this one here, this flipped up one, I fancied putting something there as well. And what I found in my little box of snippets and things, I found this little piece of, just a few little bits of fabric that I think look quite nice. Got the right colours, and I rather like that. And then I thought I might put a button there. So I'm hoping that's not going to No, because it'll come down here, won't it? It's not going to be on top of the cluster I've just done. So I'm going to put that there. Just because I like it. And why not? I've been wanting to use some of these snippets for a while. I keep forgetting I've got them and they are so pretty. They're little snippety bits. I want to make some more, but I keep thinking, well, if I make more, I need to use the ones up that I had made. Otherwise, there's not a lot of point in making them, is there? If you don't use them. So, even if I only use one, it's something. And I'm just going to put this button on as it is. I'm not going to mess about putting, cotton through it and stuff. I know that's what a lot of people do, but I'm not gonna. I'm just going to put it on as it is. It just took my eye this morning. I wasn't even looking for a button. I saw it in my drawer. I thought, oh, that might just go on there. And it does. So that's that. So I think I'll leave it poking up there to dry. And let's just move this out of my way now. It's quite tricky working in this folio because if you want things to dry, you can't keep closing it. Let's get the bits of Velcro out of the way. Put the top on. Right, what we're going to do next. I don't know how this will work out. I had the idea that I'd like to put a little bit of snippet roll down the edge just because this is completely plain. And I thought if I could just put a little something down the edge. I know I could just put some lace, and I still might. But as I said, I wanted to try and start using some of my little snippet rolls. I have this box, this lovely little box, and that's where I've put them all. And I just forget to get them out, so I've got a few bits in here that might go. I mean, that's a possibility, just that one by itself. So I might get that out. And I've got a couple of snippet rolls that may also offer something that I could use. So I wondered about this section here, because it's got the blues and a little bit of pink she's got a little bit of pink on her costume. I think I would have to trim it down a bit because it's quite a little bit on the wide side. And then I came across that little snippet, didn't I? Where's that? That's this one here. Would that work? Just a little short bit. Actually, I quite like that. I think that might work quite well. Oops. What's that? A little bit cut off from somewhere. Ooh, might use that. I think I might put that on there. I might just trim off a couple of little bits just to make sure it doesn't stick out too much, but don't need to trim off much, I don't think. Trim it off a little bit here. Don't want it to look too uniform. But I quite like that. So I think I'll put that there, so it doesn't really impact on the picture, it just gives you a little something decorative on there. Yep, I'm going to do that. Don't want to have the glue going over too far because it's obviously going to be sticking out, so just a couple of rows of glue there. So I thought I was going to cut myself a piece of the snippet part off the snippet roll, but I think actually this one works better. I'm happy with that. That was quite nice, just to give a little decorative edge onto that picture without actually covering any of it. There we are. Little piece of my snippet roll. Yay, I've used some at last. Right, what else can we do? Can we put anything on here? Perhaps in this corner. What about, where's that little piece I found? Could that come up there? Just a little bit in the corner there with one of those little chipboardy pieces. for one of those, maybe. Or I might completely go off-piste and put a sequin on there. Oh yes, that was one of the things that flew on the floor. Just a second. Had this little bag with some odd little bits in. And that was where the button came from as well. I think this was probably something to do with a scrapbooking kit or something that I put together, and that was the little bits of decorative stuff that I had with it. Right, let's just see. What about putting a little sequin on there like that? Because it won't impact on the other pocket or anything, so I think that just finishes it off. Maybe I've got one, maybe I need two. Is there two in here? There were. I think there are. There are two. Shall we see how it looks with two? About that. Is that too much? Could be. Not sure. I'm just going to get rid of some of these. I think that's when I sewed it. This is just obviously an odd bit of a snippet roll that I've trimmed off or something. Right. Okay, one or two. One. I know it's usually one or three, isn't it? But three would be too much on this little tiny piece. I think one's enough. Okay, I'm going to stick it down anyway. Not to faff about anymore. Little indie bits. Need trimming as well. Okay, and just a little blob. And I'll put my sequin on. Okay. I think that'd be fine there. So how are we doing? Already got some decoration on here, so I think that's fine. A little something on here, I think. A little bit of lace. What we got? A few bits knocking around here. All in more or less the right colours. Quite like this. And it just fits nicely, doesn't it? So I think that might be the winner. Doing there. I think I might just put that on there, yeah. Okay. It's going very well. That's just perfect size, that. How did that happen? That never happens. Okay, I've got lots of bits on some of these, so I think we're okay. I want a bit of lace on here. I'll just trim off that little edge, just softens the whole thing, and then perhaps we'll just blend in a little bit. Sometimes you don't want things to blend in, and sometimes you do. How would that look? Let's take it out and have a look. I quite like that there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of, trying to do it quite lightly. This is very thin lace. Don't want it to be too heavy. A little bit of lace there. Quite like that. Yep. One of those things you can just keep going, can't you? Adding little things here and there. Right, but I think I have to be careful because otherwise it'll all just get too bulky, won't it? Move some of these things out the way. A little bit of lace and put that there. Now, how are we doing? I think we're okay. I can't feel any bits of glue poking out. That closed like that. Now I had thought about putting a pocket on here, but I just think it'd be too much. It'll make it too bulky. I could just pop Treasured Moments up there, couldn't I? As it's sitting on my desk. It needs a little home. And there's a bit of a gap up here, so I think I'll put that there. Maybe with some lace. I got some lace that would just finish that off. I think that would work. I think. Just Treasured Moments. Maybe that's a little bit long. Maybe just trim off a little bit. How about that? I think that might just work nicely, so we'll do that. I'm making this up as I go along. I had no plans to do that at all. But, I don't know, you just sometimes think, oh, yes, just a little something there would just finish it off. Not a pocket, but just a little bit of decoration, just to finish off this back piece. It's not completely at the back, is it? So it does show. So let's put that there. My Treasured Moments. Oops, that was upside down, not good. I said it was going too well. That's alright, now it's on. Now I'm wondering about this little butterfly now. Not butterfly, what am I talking about? Where'd butterfly come from? Sequin. Little sequin. Would that work? Could I put that there? And also I've got a little piece of this, another one of these little ephemera pieces knocking around. Could I put that there? Over there, just to kind of tie in the theme. Ooh, how about that? Bringing everything on here now. Clearing my desk of all the little bits. Ooh, big blob. Okay, I've got to do the closure still, so I've got to keep an eye on the time. Time seems to go faster in my videos, seems to me, than in anybody else's. Everybody else seems to do loads of things and they manage to do it all in half an hour. I don't think I could ever do that. I'd never get anywhere. So thank you for everybody for being so patient with me, especially when my videos get a bit long. I do appreciate you sticking with them and watching them, even though they're probably longer than anybody else's. But if I made them short, I'd never achieve anything. I'm just not very fast. Right. Well, in case you're wondering, we still haven't found a house. But we keep looking. We looked at one at the weekend. Wasn't quite right. There's always something. I think my daughters are starting to think that we're a bit too fussy. But it's got to be right. We've got to be considering our, place to get old in, haven't we? It's got to work for us. And at least we now have a completed chain, so at least we've got a good chance of getting a house if we decide to put an offer in on anything. Okay, so there's that little bit there. All right, let's close it up and see how we look. It's quite chunky now, but not too bad. I mean, it does actually go flat. So all I really need to do now is put my closure on, and I think I'm going to keep it really simple. The other thing I thought I'd like to put on here, this is a last minute thing. Oh, yeah, let's just break it out a little bit. I wondered about putting on these little book corners. These are little metal ones that I saw Tina using in a video once, and I bought some and haven't used them yet, but I thought that might just give a nice little finishing touch to these corners. They're just decorative, but I quite like that, so I'm going to put those on next. They're quite thin. You see, they're very little thin pieces of metal, but they're really pretty. I haven't used them yet, so here we go. I'm going to put them on here. So a bit of everything going in this little folio. Sequins and lace and fabric and snippets. It's all going on here. All the things I've been wanting to use. It doesn't have to be a journal. You can kind of get a bit carried away even on a little folio like this. I really enjoyed doing it in the end. I don't know if you remember right at the beginning when I got that box, I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with it? How am I going to incorporate that theme into anything? But it's worked out. I've really quite enjoyed myself doing things with this little folio. I've stretched the creative brain a little bit, but it's been fun, and I'm really pleased with how it's turning out. I can still do all the things I like to do with the lace and those sort of bits. It's quite gluey now. Right, let's put this one on. I have to be a little bit careful with the glue now. It's going everywhere. It's coming out quite fast at the moment because my bottle was quite full. This one's got a little bit bent, so I've got to press it a bit to make sure it all sticks down flat. Right. I think it's caught. It isn't as flat as I'd have liked. Press it down a bit. Got a bit of glue oozage here, but never mind. Straighten that up a little bit. I think we're okay. So that will just need a few minutes to properly grab, I think, and to set. So the last thing to do is my closure, and I'm just going to keep it simple. Oops, I've got a piece of sari silk here. Now, what I didn't think about when I was putting this tab right in the middle is how difficult it would be to have my closure. So I'm just going to try and do it just under here. So I wrap it around that side. I wrap it around this side. I don't want it to go over her face anyway, so we can do it here, I think. I haven't quite got it even, so I'm just going to flip it over and even up my sides. Got about the same length. Okay, and then I will glue this to the back after when I've tied it. I'll glue it so it's attached at the back. Bow here. Oops, a a bit long. There we are. Actually, that's just a little bit too long, isn't it, that bit? Let's trim it a touch. Okay, there we are. One little folio, all done. Let's glue this at the back, and then it won't. I only want to glue the underneath one, so this one can come undone properly. Just put a little bit of glue just to hold it in place. Okay. All right. There it is. One little folio. Should we do a final flip? Final flip through. Let's trim off some of these. There's always lots of bits on the sari silk, aren't there, that just need trimming off. Oop, they float around. Okay, so there we go. Let's hope I've glued the right bit. There we are. Yep. So this will go round all twice, so that's why it's a bit longer that side. Oh, so this one opens here. We have a journal card, which seems to have got a bit wedged now, in here. It's got stuck. It comes. So a little journal card in here, this pocket. I can get it out like that. It's quite simple. Looks very simple now because I think it was the first one I did. It looks very plain, doesn't it? Now, but I think the pocket's a little tight, so I don't think it's worth making life difficult by adding any more decoration to that, because it's quite a tight space, that pocket. Which I'm proving by not having trouble getting it going back in straight. That's it, it's in. And then this comes out like this. Oh, I haven't put anything in here, have I? I forgot about that. Ooh, right. Thought I'd finished, but I haven't. I'll put something in here. Okay, quick thinking. That will fit. If I back this, that might work. Should we back that? Let's see what I've got. I think I'll back it with this. Get this to come out, right. Turn it upside down, keeps better. It seems to come out better if I leave them upside down. Hoping this is going to be substantial enough, just for the 2 layers to go in that pocket. Don't really want to have to do another layer. Yes, I just want to trim this. Right, let's see if this goes in that pocket. Oh, envelope. No, it was in here, wasn't it? Will it go in there? Yes, it will. There we go. Quick solution. So there's that one in there. Then we have another journal card up here. Nice big one. bit of stamping on the back, and the envelope. You remember we just stuffed that with some little bits and pieces. Pop that down there. Close that behind its little closure there. So that's that. Then we have these two flip up and the flip down. The flip up has got the journal card in here, and then the flip down has got a journal card in here, and a little tag in here, and then this journal card here, which I now am getting the urge to round the corners of. So I'm going to do it. Of course I'll have to just quickly re-ink them as well. I do like my journal cards to have rounded corners. They just look a bit more finished somehow. I don't know why. But it's what I like to do. I'll get rid of all the bits. I would love to be able to just sew around these, but I just think I'm going to have to. Now, where was that? That was the back here, wasn't it? Yeah. They would look better sewn, and maybe one day I'll be able to do it again. Don't think I'm far off that moment, but just being careful. Okay, so that's that. Flips up and flips down. And then this one, that flips out and it has the journal card in there. Okay, and this one here flips open. It has its journal card in here, and like that, and it's just been inked a bit to make it look a little bit more vintagey. It goes in there, and at the back here we have the tag, long tag. And I think because it was so long it looked very bare, which is why I thought I'd just do a little bit of inking, and I used the sepia archival ink on this one. And that goes at the back. And then this journal card, using one of the backing cards from the Your Creative Studio kit. It's nice to be able to use up those things. That's just been inked at the back just to make it look vintagey again. Looks like I just caught that up, so I have to be careful. Now that should go right at the back, shouldn't it? And that goes in this pocket here. All pockets were made from envelopes. Right, so that goes in there. And then this little journal card here and this little tuck spot here. So that's it. That's the little folio. Not very complicated, but it took me long enough to finish, didn't it? But I enjoyed it. It was quite satisfying in a way to do something really different and unexpected. Now, let's get this right. This goes around here. This goes around here. There we go. Then we do that little bow here. There it is. Folio. All done. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you like this. It's a bit different for me, but we will get on in the next video where we're definitely putting together the signature for the boho journal and really getting into doing some things with that. It's all going to be the bright colours and beautiful fabrics, and it's going to be lots of fun. So join me for that. Bye for now.